Hello and welcome to Lotus Cup Europe. We're here at Assen for the first of 3 rounds supporting DTM this season, and with Bosch GP and W Series also racing, it's set to be an action-packed weekend. Danny, you've had a bit of bad luck at the start of the season, but you've had a promising start to this weekend, qualifying 4th in the production class. What are you hoping for this race?
I'm hoping for a good start, really. It's a wet race. Well, it looks like it's going to be wet to start with. But this is quite good in the wet, apart from the locking up and all that. But hopefully everything goes well for the race.
Great to see Danny Holland back with us. Did contest the opening round at Hockenheim at the end of April, but in a very competitive production class. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on as we look at our front row of Ben Spaller, the championship leader. Thomas Vazin, the former champion, is next to him, and on row 2 Franck Laroche and Nicolai Ibsen. As you can see, the track is starting to dry out. Here's confirmation of the grid: Ballot, Vazin, Laroche and Ibsen from Thierry Verheest on row 3, with Anthony Fournier to his outside. Daniel Palmer next up from Jason McAnulty on row 4. Row 5, Robin Nielsen and Dave Harvey. 11th on the grid, Natalie Junior-Prache and David McAnulty, then Ian Fennick and Eric Libor. Jean-Pierre Junior-Prache is the production pole position man, ahead of championship leader Sven Pedersen, then Kai Cederholm, Danny Holland, Dave Carr, Paul Pattison and Mark Yates completing our grid here on the 2-mile Assen track. This is the first time that we've been, Lotus Cup Europe has been here since 2010. That was actually the only other time, to my knowledge, that the cars have raced here on this 2.8-mile circuit. And an interesting race in prospect. In car with Nicolai Ibsen, the Dane, number 99, and a problem for Bence Baller. I'd wondered whether that was Bence being passed when we saw that earlier shot. Bence Baller, and that's major drama because Bence is the championship leader and the pole position man. It means Thomas Vazin gets a clear run coming down into the start of the race. You can see the pit lane entry there. They come around the final turns and then onto the main straight for this rolling start. Watch when we get to see the gantry fall, the lights which will go. They are on already. Out they go. And Thomas Vazin has the opportunity here of an outright win. In car with Jason McAnulty, who is quick off the line, but so too is Daniel Palmer, the Swede, in red and black, who nips past him. And he's up into 4th place. Franck Laroche was being challenged there by Jason McAnulty, I think. Where is Jason? Let's have a quick look at the runners as the leaders. Thomas Vazin's made a very good start and he's away as they head into turn 2. Sven Pedersen, the championship leader for the productions, further back than he is used to, and you can see Danny Holland immediately ahead of us in white and blue. So very crowded in these early stages. Vazin is the race leader. Franck Laroche actually recovered well and is in 3rd place at the moment, but coming under pressure is the 57 car from Daniel Palmer on the inside line. Palmer makes it through. Franck Laroche still leading 2:11 open, but down to 4th place, and now with the Evora of Jason McAnulty all over the back of him. Thierry Verheest is next up from Anthony Fournier. Fournier 2nd in 2:11 open. In car with Jason McAnulty, dropped from 5th, joint 5th in the championship prior to Spa, down to 10th in the standings. Had a retirement in 7th place, which had a little bit of a dent in his standings because the regular front runners in the other classes managed to put a few points on him, so hasn't lost too much ground in terms of the V6 class. Jason McAnulty, man who won round 3 of the championship this year at Paul Ricard back in May, and he's putting big pressure on the 2:11. Now this won't gain him any points, but it will give him a shot at having a nibble at Daniel Palmer, who's out front. Back to pit lane where it looks like they're trying to sort Bence Baller's car out. If Bence can get back out and complete enough of the race to be a classified finish, he will pick up some possibly valuable championship points. But at the moment it doesn't seem any immediate sign of him coming back out. There is an immediate sign though of Jason McAnulty looking on the inside line here to go past Franck Laroche, which he does on the inside line. So Laroche still leading 2:11 open. And where is Anthony Fournier? We need to check up on that. as Sven Pettersson makes a move to pass Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet, and I think Danny Holland might be the next to do that. So the pole position man in production, Genou-Prachet coming under pressure now. Danny Holland makes the move through on the inside line. A nice, neat swap of onboard views there. So Jean-Pierre down to third. Jean-Pierre having won, of course, the second race in our last outing at Spa. Conditions here very awkward, as you heard Danny Holland describe. Parts of the circuit are dry, and you can see that there's a drying line, which on some parts of the circuit is going to make overtaking very difficult. As Jason McAnulty continues to chase the exige of Daniel Palmer. Still Nikolai Ipsen running in second position, and Tamas Vazan, the overall race leader, and then this squabble at the moment for third position. And McAnulty, you've got to say, looking the quicker out of these two cars. He's going to still got the pressure from Franck La Roche behind. Franck, of course, primary aim to win class, secondary aim maybe to get up on the overall podium and perhaps take another overall victory to add to his collection. Roche on 231 points, 8 points behind Ben Spalla, could well take the outright lead now. And Jason McAnulty going through on the inside line to claim third position, goes through on the inside line, looks like a tow back to the paddock for Ben Spalla. So they've given up the idea of getting Bents out for this race. They've looked at everything they possibly could, but it's not going to be for him in race one. He will have to try and come through in race number 2. Dave Carr on the inside line now. Danny Holland involved in that mix as well. Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet up ahead of Dave Carr in the number 20 car. Kai Cederholm up ahead of Mark Yates. Kai, of course, a race winner at Paul Ricard in the production class. Actually won here previously, probably has very good memories because he and Dave Harvey, respective class winners when we raced here last at Assen, and having a good race at the moment with Mark Yates. The frustrating thing is that both of these guys we're used to seeing much further up the order, but struggling a little bit at the moment, although enjoying their battle, but that potentially will slow them down and just lose a little bit of time on the group that you can see away in the distance. If they work together, they might be able to reel them in and get stuck into a podium battle. In fact, Yates trying to pass Cederholm, has a little look, hasn't quite got the momentum there to get past the Swede. Yates, who has thus far this year finished every single race thrown at him, which has been superb to say the least. Quite a few drivers in the championship. Little moment here, it's a wild moment for the race leader Tamas Vazan, who's got a little bit of a lead, but you can see just how bouncy things get when you go over the curbs. Vazan may be leading the race outright, but things getting a little bit wild for him as we watch a very good close field battle going on with the 211 Opens. In car with Danny Holland once again. Holland at the back of this quartet. Pettersson challenging Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet. We've got Dave Carr in the mix as well. This is a superb battle here going on for the class lead in the production category. We say it every programme seemingly that these guys have such a superb battle. Dave Carr up ahead there of Danny Holland, and Danny in with a shout here of improving on that fourth place that he took at Hockenheim in round number 1. Danny recovering injured serviceman, got injured in Afghanistan 2012, and working with the wonderful Mission Motorsport organisation. Partial to a bit of football, I gather, as well. A good footballer is Danny Holland. A lot of my motor racing friends call football the dark side, but it is possible to enjoy both sports, as Danny Holland proves. Sven Pettersson coming under pressure from Dave Carr. Danny Holland in fourth immediately behind them. Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet having reclaimed class lead. Looking good at the moment in the production class category, and Danny Holland looks up the inside line here and goes into third position at the expense of Dave Carr. Very neat move, and he's already on the back of Sven Pettersson, the championship leader. So a really good battle going on now for second place, and Danny Holland I'd be surprised if he's not edging towards fastest lap here, if he hasn't got it already. Across the line they go again. In car with Danny as they come down the straight, heading towards turn 1. Robin Nilsson up ahead of Anthony Fournier in the number 41 211 Open. He's had a number of class podiums this year, but hasn't bettered a third place so far. But he's looking to better that here. Multi-race winning driver in 211 Open. Or 211 as it was back in the day. It's only been merged 211 Open this year. David McAnulty is in behind, as you can see, that gold livery, and Fournier busy chasing at the moment Robin Nilsson. Robin having started in 9th position on the grid, so hasn't had too bad a start of things at the moment, Robin Nilsson. And a little bit shy of Thierry Verhees, but coming under pressure from the 211 Open car of the Frenchman Anthony Fournier. He's only had one retirement so far, Anthony, which was at Paul Ricard, race 2 of the 3, but getting stuck into Robin Nilsson, finds the track position there and very neatly passed, and Robin gets a handful of lock in the wet there coming through that, and I think we might well see David McAnulty in the Exige make the move as well. Thomas Vazin still leading. Wonderful shot here, looking down the main straight at Assen. David McAnulty couldn't quite get close enough there to Robin Nilsson, but he will have seen that happen. Here's a replay of the pass. Fournier sees the gap, Nilsson sees him as well, and then grabs an armful of lock. Clean racing between the pair of them. That puts the 41 car just that little bit closer to the class leader, Franck Laroche. Anthony Fournier still in second place as we watch the overall race leader, Thomas Vazin, who leads here at Assen. We'll have more after the break. Welcome back to Lotus Cup Europe here at Assen, first time since 2010, and serving up some super racing, particularly in the production category. And Danny Holland goes through to third place. Great move past Dave Carr, and has got momentum back onto the back end now of Sven Pettersson once again. Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet, the white car with the black roof, is the leader in the... We've got all 4 lead production cars together. Absolutely brilliant racing as we approach the halfway stage of this opening race of the weekend. But now you can see Carr goes back through. Got a good exit out of that final chicane, back into third place, and Genou-Prachet goes off the track. Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet, the leader's off. Sven Pettersson's through. Genou-Prachet from first to fourth, the tiniest of mistakes. It's still wet out there, and they're up dicing with Eric Libour, the Frenchman, in the 211 Open class. In theory, on the twists and turns, they might be able to get past, but Eric should be able to power away from them on the straight now. Danny Holland up into second now. Back, he's got his nose in the lead. The back end comes around. Sven Pettersson sees that, runs wide. In car with Holland. There is Sven Pettersson, who's got the class lead back again. So Sven Pettersson from Danny Holland. Now, no, it's not Danny Holland, because back into P2 goes Dave Carr. Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet not that far away as well, as Dave Carr continues to challenge Sven Pettersson. Sven, the production championship leader. A replay here of Natalie Genou-Prachet and Ian Fenwick. Natalie on the wet line, by the look of it, goes through, makes the move into 4th position in 211 Open. There's dicing going on wherever you look. There is Thomas Vazin, the race leader, fastest lap as well. And Thomas driving a super job here. Starts, as you would expect, to get into the traffic, passes Danny Holland very cleanly, you have to say. Got a good lead over the rest of the field at the moment. Dave Carr goes wide. Does that result? Yes, it does, in Sven Pettersson getting back into the class lead. Tamas having to deal with the production runners will go on the inside line of Dave Carr, looking for the V6 chasers. He's safe, isn't he, Thomas Vazin, at the moment? Very safe indeed. Danny Holland gets an armful of lock once again. Remember, still learning his racecraft, won't have raced here before. And in third position in class at the moment, the white, black and yellow of the Swede leading from Dave Carr. Then Danny Holland with 13 minutes on the clock here at Assen, race number 1 of the weekend. There is Jason McAnulty. who is having some better luck. When he finishes strongly, but he did have that non-start at Paul Ricard race 2. McAnulty through and past Mark Yates, so busy chasing Tamas Vazin at the moment. Tamas in the Exige, McAnulty in the Evora, through the grid line, not being challenged by anyone either. And next up, the Danish driver Nikolai Ibsen in the 99 car. Again, we haven't seen that much of Nikolai this year, but when he's been racing, he's been on or very near the podium. He had a brace of podia at Hockenheim, race number 1 of the season, and then we saw him at Spa, retirement in race 1, 5th position in race number 2, as Daniel Palmer still being challenged by Franck Laroche. See what Franck can do. This is for 4th position on track at the moment. Kai Cederholm is next up, so Kai running in 6th position in the production category, moves over, allows them through. Nice driving by Kai Cederholm. It's going to be slightly more difficult because they're into the S's. Difficult to know where to place the slower car. And Franck, I think, is going to look around the outside line here of Kai Cederholm. No, he's going to have to go to the inside, which is the outside for the next corner. He's got the power to get past, grabs the apex and will continue his chase off Daniel Palmer for 4th position. But a quick reminder that Franck Laroche still leading 2:11 open, as Dave Carr, 2nd position in production, still dicing hard here with Danny Holland. Good race here. Look at the momentum from Holland around the outside line, bang into the side of Dave Carr. They clash, but they continue. I hope that neither car is damaged, because this is a thrilling race. You can see Sven Pettersson is starting to build up a bit of a lead from these two. Outside line again, there's the replay. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. In car with Danny Holland again, who's going to have a look to go through. Really is cut and thrust between those two, and Danny can't quite do it there, so Dave Carr still in 2nd place, and the rear end spins around. Watch for the recovery. The car pointing in the right direction. I think Danny had an element of control as it was gyrating and gets back, and he's in 3rd position. Here's a replay, turns in, maybe on the gas on the damp part of the circuit a little bit early, and you can see ready to fire it up in the right directions. Problems for Eric Libor, who is 5th in 2:11 open and has a spin. It looks like he's about to put a move here on Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. Locks up, Jean-Pierre gets forced to go wide and very hard on the brakes. That was unfortunate for Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. Lost a lot of ground there. And Eric Libor, I'm surprised, didn't get beached in the gravel, but I think the way they've done the gravel is such that it can slow the cars. And a problem for Tamas Vazin as well, the race leader, who has got going again, but Vazin still with the replay. Look out of the coming traffic. There wasn't any traffic, but the circuit behind him, he was so far ahead he could afford the spin and to rejoin in the race lead. Vazin will be counting his lucky stars that he's still in front. So Ian Fennick coming under pressure here from Dave Carr, who for the moment isn't anywhere near another production machine, apart from Danny Holland, who's a good few lengths behind him now. So Dave Carr in at the moment a relatively safe 2nd position. The class led still by Sven Pettersson. But on to the last lap, it's Tamas Vazin with Jason McAnulty in 2nd, which will be a 3rd 2nd place of the season for him, assuming he hangs on to it. The sky, as you can see, is deep blue and a little bit on the dark side, which perhaps doesn't augur well for the rest of the meeting. But Tamas Vazin is going to take a maiden V6 win here in the 81 car, perhaps at the expense of Bence Baller, but there is the win. A win is a win. Tamas takes it. It's going to be Jason McAnulty in 2nd place. Tamas rightly absolutely delighted with that. Here's P2, Jason McAnulty, a fine drive from Jason once again in the Evora. This will do his championship standings no harm at all, so he takes 2nd place. He's pretty pleased with that. There we go, I think he said. In the car, it's going to be Nikolai Ibsen who takes 3rd place. a third podium of the year for Nicolai. Daniel Palmer is down behind him, running in fourth place. Nicolai Ibsen very nearly catching up with Nathalie Genou-Prachet in the closing stages of this race, but Nicolai takes third. There is Daniel Palmer, fourth position outright. Behind him, this man, Franck Laroche, will, I think, go back into the outright championship lead here. He wins the 211 Open category. Productions won by Sven Pettersson, who we always get some real emotion from the Swede when he takes the checkered flag. You can see Robin Nilsson coming through as well. This is the battle for second place, and it's going to be Dave Carr who will take second, a recovering Danny Holland not that far behind in third. Here's the result though in full. It was Thomas Vazan the winner from Jason McAnulty and Nicolai Ibsen. Daniel Palmer next, 211 Open winner Franck Laroche, then Thierry Verhey second in 211, Anthony Fournier, Robin Nilsson, David McAnulty and Dave Harvey takes third in 211 Open, completing the top 10. Nathalie Genou-Prachet next from production winner Sven Pettersson, then it was Dave Carr from Danny Holland, Ian Fenwick and Mark Yates, Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet from Eric Libor, Kai Cederholm and Paul Patterson in 20th. A decent way to open our race proceedings here on our second visit to Assen, and a win for Thomas Vazan, who's going to be very, very happy indeed taking the win from Jason McAnulty.
Thomas, congratulations, first win in the V6 class. How do you feel?
I'm very happy, and that's all. So I'm very, very happy. So that was my very, very, very first win with the V6. I have a lot of races in production, but I cannot win with the V6. So I'm very happy.
Jason, congratulations, a podium in your first race here at Assen. How was it?
Yeah, thanks Elise. Yeah, really good fun. I've been looking to come here for a very long time. Yes, fantastic circuit. We just had a few issues with the car, unfortunately, yesterday and today. And a bad start from 8th, but made up for it to get on the podium.
Nicolai, congratulations, third overall. How was your race?
It was a good start. I came from 4th, and Benz, he had a problem with his car, so I was 3rd at the start and I was 2nd the first corner, and Thomas was just gone. I couldn't catch him, so I was 2nd for a long time, and then Jason McAnulty caught me halfway and he was too fast as well, and then I was on my own basically the rest of the race. Well, it was alright, it's good, slippery in the beginning, but then it turned out to be dry, and then we had a good setup.
Frank, congratulations, another podium in the 211 Open class. How was it?
Ouais, merci Elise, c'était vraiment une très belle course, un petit peu particulière parce qu'on a commencé sur le mouillé, un peu gras, on a fini sur le sec, c'était un peu compliqué à gérer, mais grosse bagarre avec Daniel, ça a été quand même assez fair play, c'était sympa. La voiture a vraiment très bien roulé, le circuit est vraiment très sympa aussi, donc vraiment une très bonne première journée, donc merci encore pour cette organisation et ce fabuleux circuit sur lequel Paul nous permet de rouler. Merci.
Anthony, congratulations, second into 11 Open class. How was it out there?
Yeah, that was a very enjoying race. Very difficult at the beginning with the wet track, but I have chose a good setup. So it was a good beginning, great battle with V6, and yeah, I'm quite happy. It's quite a pity to have not a very good start. So I have a pace with my colleague Frank, but maybe tomorrow will be better.
Sven, congratulations, a win in production class.
Thank you very
What
much.
do you think of the circuit, with it being your first time here?
It's the first time. I actually enjoy the circuit quite a lot. It's really a fun circuit to drive. It's a lot of banking corners, a lot of fast corners. I like that. So it's actually really enjoyable. I really like it.
Danny, congratulations. You've had a mixed start to the season with having to deal with quite a few problems with the car. How does it feel finally being up on the podium?
A relief, really. The start of the season was not so good. We've had our engine problems, but it seems to be okay at the minute. And that race then was unbelievable with Dave Carr, which I think he'll say exactly the same, to be honest. But the change in the weather was absolutely nuts. From rain to dry, it was very hard work.
The cars are lining up, ready for race 2, and it's a standing start. Ben Spaller is on pole, followed by Thomas Wiesen and Frank Laroche.
Bentz's car sorted out, so a second go for him from pole position. Thomas Vazin looking for another win. There'll be confidence there for sure. Frank Laroche, 2:11 pole in third, then Nicolas Ibsen, Thierry Verheest and Anthony Fournier. Daniel Palmer and Jason McAnulty on row 4, followed by Robin Nilsson, and then Dave Harvey completing the top 10. Next up is Natalie Genoux-Prachet from David McAnulty and Ian Fenwick. Jean-Pierre Genoux-Prachet again on production pole from Sven Pedersen, Kai Cederholm, Danny Holland, Dave Carr, Paul Patterson and Mark Yates. We are missing, sadly, Eric Libor from this one, from race number 1. But a smart looking, as ever, very well presented grid here at Assen. And let's get ready for the start. The lights are on standing start this time. Out go the lights, cracking start by Frank Laroche, who goes through both the lead cars. Nicolas Ibsen makes a rocket start as well. Ben Spaller, though, is no slouch through the gears. Jason McAnulty makes a superb start and he's up into third. What a start! Several very, very good starts there. But McAnulty into third. There's the lead 2:11 immediately in front of Thomas Vazin, who's got work to do. The race 1 winner. McAnulty going up to second. Jason's through into second position. In car with Jason now going for the lead, challenging Ben Spaller. Benz is going to be perhaps a little bit rusty, not having raced in race number 1. Off goes Frank Laroche, who's off the circuit. McAnulty challenging for the lead. He's going to be on the outside line coming down into the next corner. Nicolas Ibsen third, Daniel Palmer in 4th place. What a start that was. Made such a difference being a dry start, and we saw some real slingshots there. Through in the 51 goes Dave Harvey. Didn't see too much of Dave in race number 1, but up on the podium in the 2:11 open class, and coming under pressure from David McAnulty in the number 7, and then Natalie Genoux-Prachet. Natalie ahead of Ian Fenwick, but it's Ben Spaller getting back into his stride, his first non-finish of the year. Vazin is on a mission now, though. He wants to try and make some progress. Looks at the inside line of Daniel Palmer. That's a very neat pass there by Vazin through. The race 1 winner past the Swede. Vazin, of course, one of the brace of Hungarian drivers. The other, Ben Spaller, who is leading. It was an all-Hungarian front row. And Thomas on something of a recovery drive now. Looks on the inside line of Nicolas Ibsen, who was very quick off the line. Look at McAnulty, gets arms full of lock and pulls it all back into line. That was a good recovery from Jason, but he'll have lost some momentum for sure there. Is he going to lose second position? Possibly not. There is Jason. He has lost a little bit of ground. Ibsen closing up on him in the 99 car. Then we've got Thomas Vazin in 4th place. What a start to race 2. It's almost like here on day 2 they've turned the temperature up in terms of the race, as well as the ambient temperature here, much drier. We love a wet race, but you know what, you can't beat a good dry race, and it just goes to show how spectacular these cars are in any given condition on this track. So Jason McAnulty second, Thomas Vazin busy chasing Nicolas Ibsen, Daniel Palmer in behind him in the grey and red. Then it's Thierry Verheest followed by Robin Nilsson, on board with Thomas again, and Ben Spaller, Evora leading Evora. Ben Spaller getting away, and will be keen obviously to claw back some of those points that he's lost. It's not, I don't think, a big problem for Bence in terms of the championship, because remember, of all the races we've had, he's only actually been beaten twice so far this year. He was 9th in the first race at Hockenheim of the season, second Paul Ricard in race number 1. Aside from that, he's won all races apart from the one we just saw, which effectively, although shown as a retirement, he was effectively a non-starter because he didn't actually get past across the line on track, although he did cross the line, I suppose, in the pit lane. But Bent's really on a mission at the moment. Jason McAnulty settled down again in second position, so he's running well. Nicolas Ibsen about to be challenged, I think, by Thomas Vazin, who's getting closer and closer. Vazin closing in. Where is he going to make the move? Incredibly, already 5 minutes into this race, Vazin looks down the inside line there, back to grab the racing line for the apex, down into turn 1, into turn 2. Now, it's lovely complex that you've got here off the start, which is a great place to watch. Vazan still putting the pressure on. He's on the inside line. Is he going to get the place? No, he realised that the Dane had the line coming across. So these guys showing superb awareness of each other and good racecraft. Here is Danny Holland challenging the pole man, but Mark Yates is having a better run this time from Kai Cederholm. In car with Danny once again. So it's Mark Yates, Kai Cederholm, Sven Pettersson, then Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. So again, all of the production runners, the front of the field in these early stages, very, very evenly matched indeed. Dave Carr a little way shy of them at the minute, but are we going to see another podium for Danny Holland? Dare I say, the possibility, certainly with the speed we saw in race number 1, of getting a little bit further up the podium. Sven Pettersson up ahead of Kai Cederholm now, and Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache busy looking as well. So Pettersson second, Kai Cederholm third in class, then Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. Replay of Tamas Vazan closing in on Nikolai Ibsen and just feeding it through, making the move, keeping it tight. Nikolai, I was about to say giving him room, but a little tap on the back. They don't intentionally give each other masses of room, and that was indicative of how close things do get. But Tamas Vazan up to third now, Ibsen down to fourth as Danny Holland makes the move. And Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache is coming into pit lane. That's a drive-through. So we're hearing that car having a drive-through penalty. So that changes things big time in the production category, as David McAnulty continues to give chase too. There's a replay, so it was an out of position start, effectively jump start for Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. So we saw why. Look at the white car move. I think Dave Harvey might have done so as well in the 51. Franck Laroche, who has recovered well from his off, and this is a replay of his moment in the gravel, which we saw at the start of the race, and again kept it in. So let's have a look at Franck here, about to put the move on Ian Fennick as he climbs his way back through the field. So Franck passes Ian and now looks to try and pass Nathalie Jeunet-Prache. Let's see how he goes about making this move from the onboard. Ian Fennick right behind. So Anthony Fournier, incidentally, the leader at the moment in the 211 Open category. So Franck busy challenging at the moment to try and get up onto the podium. And Nathalie Jeunet-Prache, as we know, is a good pilot in these cars, but now Franck looks like he's got the run, very good run through the chicane, and takes the outside line along the main straight. Is he going to be able to complete the move by the time they get to turn 1? By the look of that, I would say he has, but Natalie's going to be hard on the brakes into turn 1 as well. Didn't want to give up without a fight, but that was a lovely piece of driving between the pair of them. And Franck Laroche, remember, with every place gained, defending the outright, by my maths, championship lead here from Ben Spaller, who is back in the race. And Sven Pettersson is out. Sven Pettersson is out of the race, the production championship leader. So we're seeing all sorts of dramas for championship leaders today. Sven slowing up, brings the car onto the grass. We saw the recovery taking effect from the marshals, as ever doing a super job wherever you are in the world. The marshals do a great job recovering cars. As Nathalie Jeunet-Prache continues on her way, now losing a little bit of ground on Franck Laroche. The question now is, can Franck close up on Anthony Fournier and maybe get the class lead, the class victory? Kai Cederholm coming under pressure here from Danny Holland. It's Mark Yates, the class leader at the moment. Yates, we saw bagging class wins last year, and this is for second position in class, and Danny Holland having a very good look. Look at the wide line there. This might afford him, I was going to say, momentum on the inside line. He's sticking to the outside at the moment. Inside on this part, very great deal of twists and turns here at Assen for these cars to work their way around, and for the drivers to get their heads around in terms of where's the best racing line to get momentum, tee yourself up maybe on an outside run for an inside on the next corner. Kai Cederholm though driving very well at the moment in second place. They are a little bit adrift of Mark Yates, who is the class leader. Dave Carr is in behind. So Danny's still trying to close in. Meanwhile, Nikolai Ibsen and Daniel Palmer battling over fourth position. We've got Thierry Verheest in behind as well. Ibsen and Palmer battling it out, and for fourth position Thierry Verheest closing in, and he's going to make the pass. Is he on the outside line? Yes, he does. Nice tidy move around the outside line, and Palmer's car doesn't sound right, and it looks like he's going to be another retirement. Robin Nilsson goes through, and that was a shame because Daniel Palmer was looking for some more decent points there. That will be Daniel's third retirement of the season. A big pity for him as the race leader continues on his way. Bence Baller leading this one comfortably. Frustration for him at the start of race number 1, but not making any mistakes so far, and that car looking resplendent in almost traditional, well, it is traditional Lotus black and gold, and leading this race. Still Jason McAnulty in second as we hit the halfway point of the race. Here's a replay, and you can see the problems there. Emissions from the 21 car, which is now sadly out of the race. Welcome back to Assen. We've got the slippery surface flag being shown due to the problems with Daniel Palmer, and Daniel retiring from the race. You can see from our replay the fluid coming out. I'm not sure how much of that made it on circuit and if it's going to cause any problems as we ride on board with Danny Holland working hard, runs wide there. It's still Kai Cederholm. This is for second position in the production category as Bence Baller flies past Danny Holland. That really did show you the speed differential between the V6 runners and the productions. Jason McAnulty is still there, as you can see, in second position, and manages to make it past in a similarly determined fashion past Danny Holland. Kai Cederholm immediately ahead, but Bence Baller here, after the disappointment of race number 1, made no mistakes in this one. Jason McAnulty running well, and you can see the black and yellow car of Thomas Vazin still there in third place at the moment, as we watch Thierry Verheest and Robin Nilsson engaged in battle. Nikolai Ibsen immediately ahead of them. Nikolai running in fourth place. This is fourth, fifth and sixth position at the moment. Robin Nilsson trying to get a little bit of momentum to close in on the Belgian driver Thierry Verheest. Let's see whether he can make a move here. Certainly trying to carry as much speed as he possibly can. Coming into the S's now, the final couple of bends on the lap. This is where if you get good momentum you can make a move down the home straight. He is close, but is he close enough to have a look on the inside run as they come down into turn 1? There's a couple of lengths between them, but Nilsson positions the car there. Verheest looked in his mirrors, he saw a little jink because he saw the 59 car coming down on the inside line. That was a good clean overtake there. Robin Nilsson up into fifth place. A great bit of momentum building there. You could almost see the thought process from Nilsson that would get him up from sixth position into fifth. So Dave Carr with Jean-Pierre Genoux-Prachet, and then Anthony Fournier in the number 41, the lead 211 Open driver, goes through, and I tell you what, not that far behind, having driven a great recovery race, is Franck Laroche. Fournier negotiating the production runners, so goes through, passes Dave Carr, having passed Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. Jean-Pierre having had that drive-through. Franck Laroche still busy trying to close down on Anthony Fournier. For Anthony, it'll be a first win of the season if he can hold on, but the gap's coming down with just under 7 minutes remaining on this second race of the weekend here at Assen. A quick reminder, the run into the end of the season, Brands Hatch Grand Prix next time out, then Nürburgring, then Le Mans at the end of September, all the very best circuits that Lotus Cup Europe competes on. This has been a fine battle, and Jeunet-Prache looks to the outside line here of Dave Carr, can't quite do it. Carr got the better run there out of the final turn onto the main straight, builds up a little bit of a lead over 5th position Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. Danny Holland still chasing Kai Cederholm. This is for 2nd position in production. It's Mark Yates that still leads the category. So Yates in front, and this has been very close all the way through this race, and that Swedish flag is about the only thing that Danny Holland's in. Now goes to the outside line again. Tries to get a bit more momentum and close in, but just can't seem to find the place or the speed to be able to go past. These are very evenly matched cars here in the production category. We've seen Sven Pedersen take most of the wins all year. Kai Cederholm, the man in front here, having won at Paul Ricard race number 1. Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache having won at Spa. Dave Harvey's not having the luck of things in the 211 Open category. Looks like some diagnostics going on for Dave Harvey in the 340R, and this is for 3rd place therefore in 211 Open, and Natalie Jeunet-Prache having a very good race with Ian Fenwick once again. We always seem to catch up with Natalie involved in a fight on track somewhere, as Dave Carr runs a little bit wide, loses ground to Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache once again. So Natalie fighting hard to try and close in for Ian Fenwick, looking for a 2nd podium of the season. Franck Laroche right though in the closing stages of this race now with the class leader Anthony Fournier. So the big battle, 2 big battles on track together, but the clock is ticking down, and by my reckoning it's going to be nip and tuck whether we're on the last lap. It is going to be the last lap, because coming through the final turns is Bence Baller, who is going to take the win before the checker. The clock is up now. There it is, there's the checker, and the clock expired just before that. We were wondering whether there might be another lap, but the half an hour is up. Bence Baller will take the win. Thomas Vazin is 2nd on the road, but we're hearing he's going to get a penalty. So Jason McAnulty taking 2nd from Thomas Vazin. 3rd place, 4th position will go to Nikolai Ibsen. Let's look back and watch for Nikolai coming across the track. The next car through though is Mark Yates, and here is the battle for the 211s. Yates winning the production category, and Anthony Fournier. It's going to be close in the 211 Open category, and is Fournier going to do it? Having a go up towards the line is Franck Laroche, who couldn't quite do it, and Anthony Fournier takes the win. Here's the battle for 2nd place in the productions. Danny Holland is going to take it, bang, into the side of Kai Cederholm, but Kai gets a better run, side by side to the line. Kai Cederholm just gets 2nd place from Danny Holland, who can't quite believe that he's finishing in 3rd. 3rd in 211 Open is going to go to Natalie Jeunet-Prache, ahead of Ian Fenwick. Again, another good run towards the flag for those two. What a race we've seen here for race 2. I think all the drivers have enjoyed it. Bence Baller wouldn't have enjoyed the opening part of the meeting for sure, having had that non-start effectively, but he wins race 2 here at Assen from Jason McAnulty and Thomas Vazin. Nikolai Ibsen next to Robin Nilsson and Thierry Verheest. Anthony Fournier winning in 211 Open from Christopher Laroche, and Natalie Jeunet-Prache. Ian Fenwick 10th, 4th in class. Then 11th goes to David McAnulty from production winner Mark Yates. Kai Cederholm and Danny Holland. Finishes completed by Dave Carr and Jean-Pierre Jeunet-Prache. Bence Baller will be very happy, and I dare say relieved, to have grabbed the win. A fine drive from pole positions. Congratulations to him. Let's go down into victory lane.
Bence, congratulations, another race win for you. You obviously had a problem in yesterday's race where you only made the warm-up lap. How does it feel to end the weekend on a high?
Yeah, of course, it feels really, really good after yesterday's disappointment. The drive shaft went on the warm-up lap. Yeah, we were really quite disappointed. But yeah, today was a really good race. The start was a bit hairy, wasn't the best, so I had to defend into the first few corners. But it all ended up pretty great, I would say.
Jason, congratulations, you had a great start. How was it?
Yeah, it was really good fun, at least. Had an awesome start. Thing launched off the line, 8th place to 2nd into the first corner, or 2nd corner. So, yeah, it's great fun. Got away with Bence, made a massive mistake. He let go on the last corner. Thought I was going to hit the wall at one stage. But, yeah, in all, really good. The battery fried on the last lap, so I slowed, unfortunately. But, yeah, come back with a 3rd. But because of the incident with the crash earlier, I got a 2nd. So I got, 2 seconds in a weekend. Happy. First time here. Awesome circuit. It's good fun.
Thomas, congratulations. Amazing weekend for you with a win and now a 2nd. How do you feel?
Yeah, I was on podium last year in Spa, so I have to wait a lot for these podiums. So I'm very happy for this 3rd place too. The car was very fast. Thank you for the team, for the whole team.
Anthony, congratulations, a win into 11 Open class. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm so happy because it's a long time, and it's also the 3 car from the team on the first, 2nd, and 3rd place, and it's Nico's birthday today, so I'm so happy for the mechanic and also for me. It's a very nice end of weekend.
Frank, congratulations, 2nd into 11 Open class. You've had a good weekend with a win yesterday. How's it been?
Ouais, c'était un super week-end en effet. J'ai pris un très bon départ, moi qui n'ai pas l'habitude de faire des départs arrêtés puisque c'est Christopher qui les fait. Je suis bien reparti, malheureusement à la petite épingle je me suis loupé, je suis allé visiter un petit peu le gravier. Je suis reparti dernier, le couteau entre les dents, et je suis arrivé à remonter petit à petit. Et puis après grosse bagarre avec mon copain Anthony, c'était vraiment super fair play. Et puis je suis pas arrivé à le passer, mais ça a été vraiment in extremis. Voilà, c'était vraiment encore un super week-end, beaucoup de points pour le championnat. Et voilà, j'en profite pour faire un petit bonjour à mon frère qui m'a quand même beaucoup manqué. Voilà, allez, merci.
Mark, congratulations, win in production class. How was your race?
Thank you, Elise. It was a little bit lonely. It was busy at the start, first win of the season. Sorry for Sven, it would have been a good battle. We always have a good race together. But happy to take the win, happy to be here, looking forward to Browns.
Kai, congratulations, 2nd in production class. You had an amazing fight with Danny Holland.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. I had a Jean-Pierre jump start and gave me like a pole position on the start line, so I could just go for it, and I was in the lead. Then Mark, who was super quick the whole weekend, passed me, and then Sven, of course, he's always fast. So it was Danny and me and Danny, and he was faster in the bendy parts, and I was. But I think I drove this race like 80% in the rear mirror.
Danny, congratulations, another podium. You had an amazing start.
Yeah, I think the start was probably one of the best ones I've had, to be honest. The Aston one is quite good off the start, but later on in the race it just showed that the S3s got a little bit more top speed and they were able to stay ahead. But apart from that, an amazing weekend. The car's been reliable and it's been fun for me. It's been fun battling with the S3s, but we'll go again in Brands Hatch.
Franck Laroche back at the top of the standings ahead of Bence Baller. Mark Yates into the production class lead. He's 3rd overall ahead of arch rival Sven Pettersson. Anthony Fournier next from Ian Fennick. Then Jason McAnulty joint 7th with Natalie Genoux-Prache. We'll leave you with our championship leader Franck Laroche. Thanks very much for watching today. We look forward to your company for the racing next time out at the Grand Prix circuit at Brands Hatch.